not you that I do this for.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is my first festive makeup tutorial for you all, and I am going to be working on my beautiful model Denise. So to start off her skin, I'm just going to go in and spray it, and then I'm also prepping her brows. I always make sure to use a good primer, and I'm using my Becca Poreless Prime and Perfector in this case. I just like to prepare the skin very well before foundation application. For her brows, I'm going to be using my brow wiz in soft brown, and she has very light, natural baby looking hair, so I didn't want to overpower it, so I went in with my soft brown brow wiz, and this matched her brows perfectly.
They only feel me cause I'm truthful. She feeling me cause I'm Wazy. She feeling me cause I'm Wazy. She feeling me cause I'm Wazy. She feeling me cause I'm Wazy.
So once I'm done filling in her brows, I went in with a concealer 2 to 3 shades lighter than her skin tone, and I'm just using this to clean up underneath her brows. Next, I'm going to be going in with the ABH Brow Powder in soft brown also, and I love using the brow powder on the brows because I find that when you have sparse hair, it just gives like a fuller appearance. And then once I'm done doing this, I went in to clean the top of her brows with a concealer closer to her skin tone. And then the last thing I do is just blend everything together so there are no harsh lines around the eyes. So because I'm going to be doing her shadow first, I went in with a concealer just to neutralize the color of her lid, and I'm just blending this in here. And then next I'm going to be using her face powder just to set that concealer into place so there are no creasing when we apply the eyeshadow later on. For her first transition color, I'm going to be using my ABH Contour powder in L'Orange, and this is a very soft orangey peachy kind of color, and it's just very nice to transition with. Then I'm going to be using my MAC's eyeshadow in Rule and Red Brick. I mixed both together to kind of get the intensity I wanted, and I'm just blending these colors onto her outer crease area. Next, I'm going to be taking this deep reddish brown color from my Lime Crime Venus 1 palette, and I'm just going to buff this into our outer crease area as well, just to kind of create intensity on the eye, and that is pretty much what I'm doing here. And I'm working this into the crease area also. Next, I'm going to be taking this deep plum burgundy kind of color, and I wasn't really feeling this color when I applied it. I totally forgot this particular shadow doesn't apply very well on top of other eyeshadows, so it was pretty hard to blend, but I managed to anyway. For her eyeshadow base, I'm going to be using my MAC's Paint Pot in Painterly, and this is just going to ensure that our eyeshadow lasts forever and ever, and also make the eyeshadow pop. And then I'm going to be using one of my favorite gold eyeshadow of all time, which is MAC's Goldmine, and I've had this shadow forever and it's still a favorite of mine. It's an oldie but a goldie. So that actually goes because I'm using gold eyeshadow. You guys get that right? So once I'm done applying the gold eyeshadow, I'm going to be using this Comex Gold Metallic shadow from Stila, and this is just going to, create intensity, make the gold eyeshadow pop more. And I'm just applying this mostly in the center, and then I'm working it towards the outer corner of the eye as well. And then I went in with my black eyeshadow from my Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, and when I was applying this shadow, I wasn't really feeling the intensity. Well, it's a pretty good shadow, but it wasn't as intense as I wanted it to be, so I decided to go in with gel liner over the shadow. And guys, I had never done this before, so I was literally taking a risk, but then it worked well. And then I went back and applied the black shadow on top of the gel liner, and I got the intensity I wanted. And then now, as you guys can see, I am literally just blending leaving the lights out of this black shadow. So next I'm going to be using the reddish brown color, and I'm going to use this to blend that black eyeshadow out a bit more. Because of the gel liner I used, I had to blend like there was no tomorrow, literally. And then now I think I'm just using the MAC eyeshadows that I used earlier to blend everything together more. And then I went back in with my very first transition color to blend the whole eye area together and make sure there are no harsh lines. And then I'm going to line her eyes using my Inglot gel liner in number 77.
It's your boy.
I also went in with some of that gel liner to line her waterline because I wanted the eyes to be very intense. And then I went in with some of the black eyeshadow that I used initially, and I'm going to smudge this onto her lower lash line as well. So onto the skin now. I went in with my AJ Crimson Dual Skin Foundation. This is one of my favorite ever foundation in my makeup kit, and I am just buffing this into her skin. It literally melts like butter. Oh my gosh, guys, this foundation is bomb. Now she say, yo, no, the thing you been to do, I like, oh. Ginger me boy, don't stop, oh. If to say I mean, oh. Now she say, yo, no, the thing you been to do, I like, oh. Ginger me boy, don't stop, oh. If to say I mean, oh. So once I'm done blending the foundation into her skin, I'm going to highlight and contour and do all that good stuff. So for herself, I think I used my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer and my NYX Concealer. I mixed two shades together anyway. And then after applying them to the areas of the face I wanted to highlight, I went in with my beauty blender, and I always make sure my beauty blender is damp, because once you have a damp blender, it just does the work for you. So I'm just buffing in the products into her skin now. She stopped me right from the beginning, and she pushing me like a jungle lover. She don't know. She didn't know I get plenty money. She didn't know I spending on her. She didn't know I become a superstar. To contour her face, I'm going to be using my Ben Nye Cream Shadow in dark brown, and I'm applying this around the perimeters of her face. So basically the areas that I want to highlight, like around her forehead, hollows of her cheeks, around her nose, and all that. So once I'm done contouring and highlighting the face, I always go back in with my foundation brush, and I always blend in between the foundation, contour, and highlight just to make sure that everything is well blended and there are no harsh lines on the face. To set her highlighted areas, I went in with my Ben Nye Banana Powder. Ginger, you make we Bankulize. Ginger, you make we Bankulize. Ginger, you say I be no. For the rest of her face, I went in with my MAC Mineralite Skin Finish in dark. Say I know. Oh no. You say I be no. Zaga. So once I'm done powdering the face, I'm going to go ahead and set her contoured areas, and in this case I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour powder in Havana, and this just gave like the most natural and beautiful contour on her skin. And then of course I'm going to go in and reverse contour with some of my banana powder. So once I've let the highlight and all that bake for a few minutes, about 5 to 10 minutes, I'm just going to brush off any excess on her skin. And then for her blusher, I went in with my MAC blush in Copper Tone and Amberine Rose, and these two combinations together are literally man and wife. They're so pretty when mixed together. And then at this point, I think I decided to go in and just intensify the eye area a bit more towards the outer corner. And then I went in with the MAC eyeshadows that I used to transition. I think it's Red Brick and Rule, and I'm just going to smudge this onto her lower lash line. For her glow, I went in with my Becca Shimmering highlighter in Topaz. I know I showed both Topaz and Opal, but I ended up using just Topaz. And guys, just look at that glow on her skin. To get the highlight popping a bit more, I like to set it into place and then go over it again, and you are just going to be glowing for the gods if you do this. So onto the lips, I went in with my Lime Crime lip stain in, I can't remember the name of the shades, but I have them listed down below and they're listed in the video as well. So I'm going to be using the darker color first, and I'm just going to use this to fill in her lips. So once I'm done using the darker color, I went in with this like metallic purpley color, and I think it's called Posh, and I just kind of applied this to the center of her lips to create that duochrome effect. And then I'm just going to be soaking her skin in my Skindinavia setting spray. And of course, we cannot forget the lashes. I went in with one of my favorite brands, which is Eyelure, and I think I used number 202, and that's my favorite dramatic lashes from them. And people always ask me, how do you do makeup with your nails? I'm like, these nails come in handy when applying lashes. And then of course I'm just going to be applying some mascara onto her top and her bottom lash line, and I'll have the mascaras listed in the description bar below. And then we are done with the face. This look is definitely Christmas wearable. If you want to be popping on Christmas Day, go for this look. Thank you all so much for staying tuned, and I'll see you all in my next video.